Hi my salty pecans, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Pamela, and on today's video I'm going to be doing a fun little one. If you are not new to my channel, let's try to rewind back to the year 2020 when I had this brilliant idea of creating an entire silver plant wall. Well, now let's fast forward to 2022. I never finished or actually went through with making a silver plant wall, but I still would love to share with you all my silver house plant collection. I have quite a few silver plants, and when you're like, oh, silver, yeah, honestly, not all plants are just like white and green or just like pink or just green. I love the plants that just have that extra, that je ne sais quoi, right? And I think silver plants are just so stunning. And of course, they add just that extraness to your collection that maybe something plain and green might not give you that, you know, but like a silver plant really does give me that, So, I'm so weird. With that being said, if you're interested in my silver houseplant collections, just sharing you all the silver plants that I have, and maybe you might have them, and maybe you might be able to suggest to me some other silver plants that I should add into my collection. But with that being said, if you're interested in seeing my collection, then keep on watching. So welcome back. Alright, I think the very first plant that I'm going to definitely start with is none other. If you can guess it, I know you better guess it. I literally started the video with this. And it is none other than my MONSTERA SILTEPECANA, aka my MONSTERA salty pecan. This is the beautiful plant that, you know, my tribe, my family, my supporters, my community is actually named after, the MONSTERA SILTEPECANA. A live stream, again, I believe in the year 2020, I did. One of my salty pecans was just like, oh, what do you call us? You should call us salty pecans. And literally decided this is the perfect name for you all because it was derived from not only a plant, but it was also derived from my own community. So you all chose this name for yourselves. So I could not honor it more than having to name you all after a beautiful plant. And this is one of the silver plants in my collection, the MONSTERA SILTEPECANA. If I get like up close and personal with you all, it's gonna be really hard to show, but I'm gonna try to like take images from maybe another online and really show you the silvering that this plant just has in the veining, and everything about this plant is just so beautiful. So the MONSTERA SILTEPECANA is the first silver house plant in my collection I would love to share with you all. And of course, you all are named after it. So, hey, MONSTERA salty pecan. So the next silver house plant in my collection, I literally forgot the name, but this is the Eplycinum something. And if you can notice the foliage, the silvering, the silver veinings, the silver lining in this house plant is just so flipping beautiful. I love house plants with like silver in it. I love house plants that just, again, have a lot of contrast, that has a lot of character to the foliage, because that's the point. You know, you don't want to just have like a completely just grass wall. You know, when you think of like turf or grass, you just think of just like, just all green, no character. It's the perfect background for everything. No, I don't want my plants to be a background. I want every single plant to tell a story, to look different, to have its own personality. And the this one is another silver houseplant in my collection. The next silver houseplant in my collection is going to be my Philodendron Silver Stripe. So if you think of like, there's the Philodendron Brazil, there's the Philodendron, what is it, like Gabby, there's a whole bunch of different ones, but the silver stripe is so stunning because it does, again, like the name says, has some silver striping to it versus just like full cream or full just like light green or light tan. It has silver also streaks going on in it. And I definitely admire the beauty that is this houseplant. The next silver houseplant in my collection is one of my top favorite houseplants ever, and it is none other than my HOYA Polyneura Brocette. I'm adding the HOYA Polyneura Brocette because sometimes I feel like it gives me silver variegation, but then other times I feel like it gives me a bit of like light lime green variegation. But either way, when you do see it, the specks, it's more green, but I'm just adding it onto this collection because sometimes it's really silver to me in contrast. But this plant is a beauty. Get yourself one of these. The next silver houseplant in my collection is none other than the Philodendron CEBU Blue. No, is it the Philodendron? It's not a philodendron. Pothos. My CEBU Blue Pothos. This is the next silver houseplant in my collection. And just even by looking at this foliage, it's not just stark green. The foliage is, it just has silver blotchings. This plant is such a beauty. Get you a CEBU Blue Pothos. The next houseplant in my collection that is considered silver to me is going to be the Scindapsus pictus Trebi Moonlight. Trebi. And I don't even need to say anything. This plant is silver. This whole plant is just like silver with green swatches, if it wants to call that. The next silver houseplant in my collection is literally called the Philodendron Silver Sword. And I have to move back for this one. It's pretty large. I've chopped this plant up at least a handful of times, and every single time I've chopped it up, it's just decided it wants to keep growing and push out more growth and push out more new growth points. So this is literally called the Silver Sword. And it's silvering, it's sorting. Get your silver sword, protect yourself. So the following houseplant is, again, in the name, and this one is called it's one of my string of hearts, Silver Glory. And you're probably like, Pam, that looks like I just like a string of hearts. No, this is the Silver Glory. There's a difference. Let me get the other regular classic string of hearts that is not the Silver Glory. So this is my non-Silver Glory string of hearts, and this is my Silver Glory string of hearts. They're not the same. They're not the same, but they're both silver. So the regular string of hearts is like silver and has some deep purple in the back. And then the Silver Glory is also silver with deep purpling, but it has like a rounder, flatter face, while this really looks like a heart. So Ripley's, believe it or not, I have not removed this houseplant from under that cloche that it's been living in since forever. I have not watered this plant, no cap, in maybe 8 months. I have not added any extra water inside of this pot in maybe 8 months. It looks like it. It also doesn't look like it. This is my Philodendron Brantianum. This plant I just find is really, it was really fussy in my collection, so I wanted to just forget about it, and I decided to forget about it by putting it under a cloche, watering it, and forgetting that it ever existed. And there's not much more I can really do about that. But the next silver houseplant is the Philodendron Brantianum. I don't know. So the next plant that I'm going to share with you is going to be my Scindapsus pictus argyreus. I can't physically remove this plant from where it is because it's actually like climbing on my wall. And if I were to remove it, then I would have to like cut the plant and rip it off the wall to show you all. But I'm going to pan the camera to show you the pot, but also how beautiful it is just climbing up the wall. So let's go look at that. So this is basically where my Philodendron Brandy lives, over here, but this is where my Scindapsus pictus argyreus also lives. So this beauty, I cannot remove it from here because it literally is climbing on the wall. Can you see? It came from this pot, somehow managed to twirl itself and just live and be happy. So I let it do its thing. It's going so high up the ceiling. It's kind of, you're doing too much, baby. So this is the plant. It needs some care, some little manicuring. It's really sparse at the top, but it's pushing out new vines at the top. But then if I like just watch this vine, it's just like doing its thing and just climbing and going and doing its thing. So this is my Scindapsus pictus argyreus. Oops, I just want to add this clip in really quickly as I'm editing. I almost forgot one more silver plant, and this is none other than the Philodendron Burle Marx Fantasy. Everything about this plant is just silver. Everything about the Burle Marx Fantasy is silver. So adding this baby into this video before I forget about it. Now I'm going to take you into my bedroom and show you a couple of more plants that are not in the office. Before I continue this video, make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're hitting the notification bell to be notified whenever I upload my videos. And also give this video a thumbs up, please, because we love silver plants. We love having different plants in our collection, okay? And also follow me on my other social media platforms at HauzPlant, HAUZPLANT. So now let's get back to the silver plants. So we are now in my bedroom, and of course the queen is, you know, taking her beauty rest. But behind me there are a few plants, and this plant in particular is my Dieffenbachia something something something. But under the Dieffenbachia something something is my Chinese evergreen, and it is actually the silver queen. So I broke it off at a couple spots accidentally last year, and I just decided to just throw it inside of here and keep it pushing instead of trying to root it in soil. I just threw it in water, and this is actually one of the centerpiece in my kitchen table. This plant is so flippin' beautiful, but this is the silver queen, I believe. And this is one of the Agleonemas, aka Chinese evergreen. And look at how luscious and delicious these roots are. Let's see. They're all rooted at different points. And I also have a not silver plant, but this is one of the ZZs. And as you can see, this ZZ is also rooted. I have multiple ZZs. I have rooted ZZ cutting ravens. I have regular green ZZs, and I also have rooted Zenzi ZZs. I just really find so much joy and pleasure in rooting ZZs. But the Silver Queen Agleonema is the next silver houseplant in my collection. There are 3 more plants I'm going to mention. One of them does not live in my home. It actually lives in my office, so I'm just going to mention it now. It is another one of my Scindapsus pictus, but this is the Exotica. The Exotica foliage is just like the size of my hand. They're ginormous and so delicious. Salad plate size foliage. So the Scindapsus pictus Exotica is the next silver houseplant in my collection. So now I'm going to finish mentioning the 2 other silver houseplants that I own, and these 2 are Hoyas. You're like, Pam, I can't believe you didn't mention Hoya. Slow down, baby, I got you. So the next silver houseplant in my collection is none other than the Hoya PUBICALIX Splash. This is so beautiful. I love the PUBICALIX. I have also the Royal Hawaiian Purple, but it doesn't have as much silvering as the Splash does. So Hoya PUBICALIX Splash, beautiful, beautiful, beauty, gorgeous, beauty, silver, get it. The last but certainly not least silver houseplant in my collection of silver plants is the HOYA Curtsii. So this plant has so much just like silver speckling. The Curtsii, if you don't know, is this beauty here. And as you can see, all of that silver foliage that it has. So this is the last silver houseplant I'm going to be mentioning. So yes, my salty pecans, I hope you enjoyed my silver houseplant collection. If you liked it, please let me know by giving this video a big old thumbs up and sharing. Subscribe if you aren't already. Join this little kooky family because we're pretty awesome here. Become a salty pecan named after the silver SILTEPECANA. Hit the notification bell to be notified every time I upload a new video. Make sure you're also following me on my other social media platforms at HauzPlant, HAUZPLANT. And also, I hope you had an awesome Mother's Day. If you are a mother, I hope you enjoyed it. If you are a daughter to a mother, I hope you celebrated it with your mothers. If you're a son, I just hope anyone who has like human children enjoyed that. But now, as someone who does not have any human children, I have kitty boos and I also have plants. So I would love to wish a happy Mother's Day to all of the pet parents and all of the plant parents, okay? Because we're all mothers, we are nurturers, we are lovers, we are caregivers, all right? So yes, I will see you on the next one, my salty pecans. Love you very much. Let's get growing. Bye.